no one knows the entirety of who they are. And if they say they do, they're either lying or really, really lame.
Jude gets an interesting offer, Callie and Aaron take things to the next level, and Lena's parents are in town for an eventful episode of The Fosters. Let's break down Chasing Waterfalls right here on What Happened. How's it going, everyone? Hope you are having a lovely week. Lisa here, and it is time for another Fosters recap all about episode 7 of season 5. Fun fact, this episode was actually directed by Chandra Wilson, who you might know best as Dr. Bailey from Grey's Anatomy. So this episode sees the return of Lena's parents, Steph finally talking with Tess, Jude, Taylor, and Noah's friendship hitting some turbulence, and much more, so let's dive in. First up, I'm gonna go with Mariana. There's no roller derby drama this week, instead it's all about her crush on the boy next door, Logan. Mariana decides to take some advice from her grandpa and be Logan's friend in hopes that it leads to something in the future if he ever does become single. Mariana helps Logan make a video for his girlfriend Olivia as a grand gesture so she won't be mad at him anymore. Logan comes over to tell Mariana it worked, and things get a little awkward when Mariana asks Logan to go to prom with her and her group of friends since he doesn't really know many people in town. Unfortunately for Mariana, it's the same time Olivia is going to be in town, so Logan is like, oh, we can both come, right? And Mariana reluctantly says yes, and then she gets a DM on Instagram from Olivia saying it was so sweet that she helped Logan make that video, and then another DM comes in that reads, I high-key know what you're doing, bitch, so stay the hell away from my man or I will beat you down, thought. Well, it seems like the claws are officially out. Arrgh. I mean, honestly, did Mariana really think Olivia wouldn't notice at the end of the video that Logan was shirtless on a bed that wasn't his? I can't wait for actually Olivia to come to town. I hope she does come to town and we get to see it. Next up, there's no Noah Centineo as Jesus in this episode, so I'm gonna go with Brandon next and all his love troubles. Brandon's basically pretending to be fine after seeing Gabe and Cortney kiss in the last episode, and he just doesn't want to talk about it with Cortney. But it all ends up boiling up, and when Brandon returns home from Grace's, he trips over some of Gabe's equipment in the yard and just unleashes his anger on Gabe there, yelling, you know, why do you have your shit thrown everywhere? And I'm pretty sure they did leave Brandon saying shit in the episode. I guess the editors either forgot to censor it out, they didn't do another take, or they used the wrong tape, or maybe it was intentional. I don't know, Freeform getting edgy over here. But I'm pretty sure my ears heard him say shit. Gabe apologizes, but Brandon is so heated, he's like Mason could get hurt and even end up with a nail in his head like Jesus, and Gabe apologizes more, and also says he didn't know Brandon still had feelings for Cortney, to which Brandon says he doesn't, and then Cortney comes out because she hears all this ruckus, and Brandon just stomps off, leaving some sassy remarks in Cortney and Gabe's way. But later, Cortney is packing up to leave, and Brandon apologizes and tries to tell her she doesn't have to go. But Cortney, she's finally wisening up, and she says she does because she's realized basically that they were both just jealous of seeing their exes with someone new, but now she knows it's a normal feeling and it doesn't mean they still have feelings for each other or they should be together. She just wants Brandon to ultimately be happy, and she realizes she shouldn't even be kissing anyone right now, and she thanks Brandon for everything and tells him that he is a really good man. Now I think Brandon's pretty relieved that this, Cortney drama is gonna be over, and it seems like things are happy for him as he goes over to Grace's, brings her a sweet surprise of her favorite chocolate. So maybe things are gonna be smooth sailing for Brandon, right? I'm kind of thinking not though, because when Brandon went over to Grace's, she was on the phone arguing with someone who she said is her mom. But it seems like it could be, maybe it is her mom, I don't know, but it could be some drama brewing with Grace. Oh, and since Brandon is going to be Mike's best man, Mariana informs him that he has to throw Mike an engagement party. So this is also kind of stressing Brandon out, and we're going to see that in the next episode. Moving on to Callie, we finally get to see her self-portrait, and it doesn't take long for some of the kids in class to lay into her saying she didn't do the project right, and another girl says that Callie doesn't seem to know who she is or who she wants to be and all this kind of stuff. Now this obviously starts to get to Callie because we know how she is, and she wants to defend her piece but she doesn't really know how, and the teacher says if she's gonna put this piece in her portfolio she needs to defend it and why it should be there. Now like I said, it doesn't take much to make Callie feel kind of defeated, and you can bet she is feeling down for the majority of this episode. The next day, Callie and Aaron take a hike to a beautiful waterfall that Steph has told them about. Callie tells Aaron about her project and what happened, and she's like, maybe they're right, I don't have a voice as an artist, I rushed into this, yada yada yada, just being a Debbie Downer, and Aaron's trying to cheer her up, but Callie, is like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Callie and Aaron then see a beautiful bird flying, and Callie brings up her dreams that she had as a kid, where she used to have dreams about flying and she used to be free, but now when she dreams about flying, lying. She's either usually running away from something or being held down. And Aaron's like, hey, what do you think this means? Who do you think is trying to hold you down? And Callie says she just doesn't know. So Aaron quotes Carl Jung saying, everyone in your dreams is you. And it's kind of like, Aaron, you're so wise. It's true though, Callie does tend to be her own worst enemy. She is really the one that is holding herself back. When they get to the waterfall, they decide to take a swim, and when they get out, they have another deep talk where Aaron is like, do you really think you don't know who you are? He says he sees Callie as someone who ferociously knows who she is and what she believes, and when she fights for someone else, she doesn't waver, and he asks her why she can't find that belief in herself. Callie tells him she's just not so sure of herself, and when someone doubts her, she just crumbles. And then Aaron says what I think we all think and have been wanting to tell Callie, that no one knows the entirety of who they are, and if they do, they're lying or they're really, really lame. I mean, seriously, does anyone ever really know 100% who they are, what they truly want to do with their life, what they're going to be? I feel like it can happen, but it is so rare because we're always changing. We're always learning new things or figuring out new things about ourselves. It's just part of the adventure of kind of life. Anyway, they have a really good talk, and this deep connection that they've just made seems to put them both kind of in the mood, and they go back to Aaron's place where I'm guessing they took things to the next level in their relationship. In Callie's class next day, she raises her hand to apologize for being so defensive, then explains how her art piece represents her and how she was brought up in the foster system, and she's been so many different types of girls throughout her life. And she's okay with that, so her self-portrait is just right because it's how she feels about herself now. She isn't so sure about herself. Now it seems like Callie has gotten the seal of approval, the smile and nod from her teacher, so that piece will definitely be in her portfolio. And I just want to give a round of applause to Callie, who finally seems to be figuring herself out now. Now I just need her to get a little bit more confidence, and things are going to be smooth sailing, hopefully. Alright, let's go to Jude next. He comes home from school and Noah's waiting for him, and it seems like Joa might not be anymore. I know, it's a very close call, y'all. Noah says he doesn't want to be with someone who's going to lie to him, and he thinks a video game is more important to Jude than him. Jude is now in a panic and is trying to reassure Noah, and is like, that's not the case, you're really important to me, I'm not going to lie again. All this stuff, trying to save his ass, and saying that he wants another chance, and thankfully Noah gives it to him. Now Jude was supposed to do another gaming stream with Taylor, so when he and Noah go upstairs, Jude tells Taylor they'll have to do it tomorrow because he needs to spend time with Noah. And even though Taylor says it's cool, you can definitely see she's upset by this. So the next day when Jude and Taylor are getting ready for their stream, Noah walks in saying, oh, I thought we were hanging out, and it looks like there's a whole miscommunication of timing and whatever. Now Taylor's really upset, and she's like, oh, am I just supposed to hang around and watch you two make out? And then Jude is just caught in the middle of this fighting. And he's getting even more angry because Taylor had to leave the day before, so she doesn't want to leave now. And Noah threatens to not come back if Jude tells him to go. So what is Jude's solution?
You know what? You can both leave and never come back as far as I'm concerned.
Right on Jude. He then goes downstairs where Grandma is waiting and asks him what's wrong, and she marches him back upstairs and basically puts all of them in their place by saying the only way to stop all this fighting is to make a firm schedule. And she makes it for them basically, and then asks if there's any comments or concerns, but she doesn't let them answer because there shouldn't be. And she says good and walks out, and the three kids are kind of sitting there dumbfounded because they're like, wait, what just happened? Did Grandma just solve all our problems? At the end of the episode, Jude opens one of his 857 unread emails. It's like, what is this teenager getting so many emails about? Clean out your inbox, Jude. Okay, but that's besides the point. So he gets an email from a guy named Wade who says he's the social media director for a new game called Imminent Power, and he's seen Jude's streams of Vainglory and wants Jude to be a new ambassador for the game. Basically, pay Jude to play the game. Now Jude's so excited, he thinks this is an offer for both of them, so he FaceTimes Taylor and she says, yeah, let's do this. So Jude gives this Wade guy a call, and when Wade answers the phone, he sounds a little confused, and then it turns out that Wade doesn't actually want Taylor because he says there's enough girl gamers, they just want Jude because he's a gamer, or a G-A-Y-mer, that kind of gamer. And then Wade's like, oh, you didn't tell your friend already, did you? Okay, Jude. I'm gonna tell you something here. This whole thing smells fishy. Please run. Just run. Like, that Wade guy does not sound professional at all. And I mean, there is the chance that he could be who he says he is, and this is a real deal. But I'm thinking something fishy in one way or another has to happen here. It's either some kind of scam, maybe it's one of those child predator things, or if it is real, it's gonna cause, some more tension between Jude and Taylor, and definitely between Noah and Jude, because if Jude becomes some kind of, popular gaming star like Markiplier or whoever the gamers are. I don't really know YouTube gamers. You know, he's not going to have as much time for, you know, Noah, and definitely there's going to be tension because Taylor's going to feel left out. So this is definitely going to be something that causes Jude a lot of drama. Lastly, let's talk about Steph and Lena and everything going on with them. They're trying to figure out what to do about Jesus and Emma, so Steph asks Gabe about the two, and Gabe says, oh, they just made Emma a ring, but it's just like a going steady ring, not an engagement ring. So Steph tells Lena, but Lena seems to still think that Jesus thinks it's an engagement ring, and they're talking about all of this, and of course, Mariana overhears it all because her ears are literally everywhere. Dean then shows up, and it seems like Steph and Lena are trying to set up a trust and do all this kind of stuff with the house, you know, to make sure everything is financially sound. And Steph wants to take Lena's dad, Stuart, off of the title because he's obviously had some financial problems before, and it's gotten them in a pickle, obviously. But Lena, she's not really for this quite yet and wants to talk it out with her parents first. Steph then goes over to Dean and Tess's to discuss some more of this trust stuff with Dean, but he's not home yet, so Steph ends up having this kind of awkward conversation with Tess. And it seems like Tess doesn't talk to anyone from high school anymore, and Steph really doesn't either, but like the whole thing is just pretty awkward. Later that night at the family dinner, it's brought up that the kids could really use another car. Grandpa Stuart seems to really be having some kind of memory issues, and when Jude brings up Tess next door, we finally get to hear Steph's side of everything, and Steph tells how Tess was her first crush, and when her dad caught them cuddling on the couch once, he sent Steph to church for counseling. And then Steph also starts to bring up other stuff about the house in order to take attention away from that topic, and then Mariana just blurts out that Jesus is engaged. Steph and Lena then sit down with Stuart and Dana by themselves and discuss Jesus, and then in the kitchen, Steph and Lena say they really need to talk to Stuart about the title, but Lena wants to talk to Dana about it all first. So Steph goes back into the den while Dana goes into the kitchen. When Steph goes back into the den, Stuart is now woken up from his little nap, and they kind of actually have a sweet moment where he tells Steph, you know, he's sorry for how her dad treated her when she came out. Then back in the kitchen, Lena is talking with her mom, and her mom throws a curveball at her, saying that the money that they gave Steph and Lena to buy the house wasn't a gift, it was actually a loan, and they think that Steph and Lena should start paying them back with interest. And now it seems like Steph and Lena are going to have to put Stuart's name on their trust too, but they want to talk everything out with Dean, the neighbor, first. The next day when Dana is over, Steph and Lena tell her that they thought that the money was part of Lena's early inheritance, but, you know, Dana says, oh, Stuart seems to think it was a loan. She has no idea what conversation went on between Steph and Stuart, so she's going with what Stuart has said, but Steph brings up how Stuart's memory doesn't seem to be as good as it was, and then Dana seems offended by this. Steph then, you know, suggests they meet with a lawyer, arrange some kind of repayment plan, all of this, but they really want to take Stuart off the title. Then Stuart shows up, and he's gone and bought a new car for the kids since they had mentioned that they needed another one. Everyone is really surprised, including Dana, who tells them they can't afford it because they can barely make ends meet as it is. Stuart then says, oh no, we'll be fine. He's making good money. He has a bonus coming soon. And then it's kind of heartbreaking because Dana has to tell him there is no money coming in. He's actually retired. And then just the looks on everyone's faces, it's like they're finally realizing there's some kind of problem here. It seems like Dana is finally accepting that Stuart's memory is gone and it's not what it was, and I'm guessing it's going to be addressed, you know, that it's Alzheimer's. And she's just been trying to pretend it wasn't happening for what seems like a year and a half, I think. Dana tells Steph and Lena they'll take Stuart's name off the title, do whatever they want, forget about all the payments, everything that was happening, but Lena says they want to make those payments, they want to pay it with interest, because Dana and Stuart, they're going to end up needing that money in order to take care of Stuart, and Lena and Steph, they really just want to help. As the people come back to take the car, Lena and her dad have a really sweet moment on the porch, and as her parents are driving off, Jude asks if Grandpa Stuart's going to be okay, and Steph says, we don't really know yet, and Lena also seems pretty upset by everything that's going on with her dad. Steph then goes over to talk to Tess, and she tells her the real reason she stopped talking to Tess in high school. Steph tells Tess that she had feelings for her in high school, but when she got caught by her dad when they were cuddling, she was so embarrassed and ashamed that she didn't know what to do, so she just decided to distance herself. Tess then asks Steph why she married Mike then, and Steph says she thought she was supposed to, and she knows she caused Mike a lot of pain, and she's sorry for hurting Tess too. Tess then says she wasn't hurt, and it was a long time ago, not a big deal, and it wasn't like she had any feelings for Steph. Steph seems a little caught off guard, and just goes, yeah, of course. I don't know though, I'm kind of thinking maybe Tess did have some kind of feelings for Steph back then too. It kind of is hard to tell, but the way Tess said it makes me think she's lying, and Dean has said that it seemed like whatever happened between the two of them was still bugging Tess now. So if Tess was trying to brush it off here, why would Dean think it was such a big deal? Like, it had to really mean something to Tess. Guess we'll have to wait and see, but I'm glad Steph finally got all this stuff off of her chest. She's now kind of feeling guilty, I guess, for everything that she put Mike through, because at the beginning of the episode, she said she didn't think it was a good idea for Brandon to have Mike's engagement party at the house. But at the end of the episode, she goes up to Brandon's room and he's replacing all the stuff that, Jesus destroyed, including the Gandalf poster. And she tells Brandon that, you can have Mike's engagement party here. And she says she's just happy Mike found someone and it's the least that she can do. All right, well, that wraps it up for this episode. Callie's starting to find her voice in her art. Hopefully she's starting to become more confident. And her and Aaron seem to be pretty solid. As there's no tension there with the whole disagreement about the stuff in the last episode. Mariana, she's always finding herself in some kind of drama, even when she thinks she's doing something innocent. So we'll see what happens with that whole new love triangle she has found herself in. And Jude's about to get himself into some kind of trouble in one form or another. Now let's check out the promo for next week.
Why do I have to change the world? Why can't I just be me?
From what I've seen, changing the world is you.
Get out, Emma! I don't need you.
We're not giving up, okay? We're gonna fight to get our boy back.
Get out of my country!
Hey, it's her country too!
The last episode before the summer finale. All new Fosters, Tuesday, 8/7 Central on Freeform.
Now it is time to let me know your favorite parts of the episode, or maybe your least favorite parts, and what you think will happen next, or what you want to happen next in the comments down below, or you can tweet me. Do you think Brandon will finally have some smooth sailing now, or will Grace bring him some more drama? Is the guy that contacted Jude for real, or is it a scam? And what do you think will happen when it comes to Tess and Steph? Give me all your theories and predictions, and then for even more Fosters, I challenge the cast to a fun game of Who Tweeted That, which you can watch right over here. And if you haven't subscribed yet and you like what you see, I'd love it if you hit that button that's right here, because hey, it's free. It's not going to cost you anything. And as always, I'm Lisa. Thanks so much for talking all things the Fosters with me this week. I'll see you next week.